Hey all you nerds, Gabe aka Froopy Art here, and welcome back to our Gravity Falls and Cryptid-inspired Pokemon region. In the previous episode, you are still making your way through the Cypher Squad's secret hideout and battled a mind-controlled Sandy and her ground-type Pokemon. Now you are entering the final Elite Chamber. Sparring circles are marked out on the floor, and rows of training dummies along the walls appear to be spectators for an upcoming battle. At the far end of the room, blocking the door, stands a stout and imposing hooded figure. They step forward and lower their hood. You can't help but audibly gulp when you see the mind control collar clamped around Frenda's neck.
End of the line, buddy. I'm impressed that you made it through the other elite trainers, but now I'm going to have to pummel you into submission. Then, maybe we'll see if Glee and the scientist have another one of those fancy necklaces that will fit you.
Frenda wastes no time and sends out her first Pokemon. Flungunk isn't fully evolved, but it's still pretty tough with its poison and fighting attacks. After you take it down, she sends out the much more intimidating Mantaris. You get through its invisibility and target its weak defense to take it down. After that, you see that Frenda has the final possible Idle evolution, being the combination of the familiar figurine and mud mold. Like many of you guessed, we are doing a centaur for combining our humanoid figure and grounded horse. Now, the tough part is doing a centaur in the Pokemon style that doesn't feel too complicated or too humanoid. I did some research, and honestly, I think this has to be one of the harder concepts to do in Pokemon. I just wasn't a fan of what I was seeing. I opted to go a little bit more stylized and exaggerated with it. I think the biggest thing that helps was getting rid of the separate head body part and instead of just merging it into the torso. We're still getting some detail with the mane and the goatee spike and the reins, but on the whole, I don't think it got too complex. For one of the designs that I was dreading designing the most, I am happy with how this turned out. Okay, let's learn about the fighting and ground type Centinar, the grappler Pokemon. Idle, who should have an equine body because of the mud mold item, have been distorted by the familiar figurine into this monstrosity. With powerful arms and 4 sturdy legs, once Centinar gets its hands on an opponent, there is no escape. Their foes end up either crushed by their grasps or thrown clear across the region. Trainers are advised not to attempt riding their Centinar. The ability is Guts, which boosts the attack stat if there is a status problem, and the hidden ability is Iron Fist. It's a force to be reckoned with, and now that we have Centinar, we finally have all of the possible Idle evolutions. I really want to know down in the comments, which is your favorite? Would you rock more than one of them on your team? Are you bananas enough to have a full team of the 6 final Idle evolutions? Let me know. But for now, you do all you can and manage to feint Frenda's Centinar. After this, she nonchalantly throws out a towering Squatch. It bounds around the chamber and swings its massive legs at you and your Pokemon. A few flying type attacks take it down, and Frenda sends out a bit of a curveball. It's Borbcact. Now, its grass and rock typing are a little weird, but you manage to feint it as well. After this, Frenda is forced to send out her final Pokemon, the evolution to the tiny Uglorn that you met so very long ago. Alright, so Uglorn was based off of a unicorn, a creature with a single horn, but I wanted to do something unexpected with the evolution. So, we're going from a creature with 1 horn to 2. For the inspiration, we're using the Yale or Yali. I'm not 100% sure how it's pronounced, but this is a medieval beastie that is said to be able to spin its horns either to face forward or backwards to either be defensive or offensive. So, Instead of our evolution maintaining its big arms, it is going to lose them completely since it has such versatile horns. Also, just because of the time frame that the animal comes from, I worked in a kind of tunic-looking body, complete with a tail belt. Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's maybe too silly of a change, but I felt like we needed at least one out-of-nowhere evolution. Okay, let's check out Swivehorn, the Twisted Horn Pokemon. The horns on this squat fighter are incredibly versatile. Each is able to bend and rotate independently, giving Swivehorn unmatched offenses or defenses depending on their positioning. The sharp ends are so nimble that Swivehorn has no need for hands, and instead manipulates objects with ease using its horns. The ability is stance change, so this is taken from the Aegislash line, so that means it changes between attacking and defensive forms when using moves, so the offensive and defensive stats will swap. Though not quite as extreme stat-wise, you're basically dealing with a fighting type Aegislash. If you chose Koibra at the start of your adventure, you figure that now is your chance to utilize its ghost typing. When Frenda sees your Conspector, she clasps the gem she has and merges with her ace. Okay, so this is our last Gravity Falls inspired Beastmerge form for our Elite Four. And continuing with the unexpectedness of Swivehorn, we're actually going to turn it right into a spider. It seems odd, but hey, at least Grenda was in this episode, so we're just gonna roll with it. By just duplicating those bendy horns, we get legs, and then the tunicky wrap gets to both make the spider body along with referencing the mummy stuff present in that Gravity Falls episode. Yeah, I think this is great. Unexpected, but I could definitely see Grenda or Frenda here just completely owning being a spider queen. Okay, let's learn all about Beastmerge Swivehorn, the Horn Walker. The Pokemon's signature horns duplicate and allow this form to skitter about the battlefield and even climb across walls and ceilings. The straps that bind the trainer in place can also lash out and wrap up opponents. After unfusing, the trainer spends a few hours coughing up the occasional bit of spider silk. The ability is something new called Wrap Up, so attacks that make contact have a 50% chance to lower the target's speed. She is very bulky with a wide move pool. You figure that there is no better time than now to finally beast merge with Conspector. Okay, so what is going to round out our Lovecraftian inspirations for our starter forms? Well, we just need some type of investigator or paranormal hunter. In particular, though it's not exactly a match, I love the idea of a Van Helsing look. Someone who has seen the monstrous horrors of the world and has dedicated their life to stopping them. Continuing the starter pattern of simple clothing and some type of item or weapon, we get this great cape, hat, and crossbow. Now, I know a pistol would fit the Lovecraftian vibe a bit better, but the idea of a crossbow that binds itself onto your forearm was just too much fun to pass up. Oh, and as a final touch, I used Conspector's eye as a logo to go on the cape's back to kind of suggest that you could never actually, sneak up on this form. Okay, let's go ahead and meet Beastmerge Conspector, the Beast Hunter. Cloaked in a tattered ethereal cape, this form stalks through the shadows with ease. With newfound knowledge of ultraspace and the beasts found within, this hunter uses its specialized crossbow to neutralize targets with brutal efficiency. After unfusing, the trainer suffers visions of the unknowable horrors found throughout ultraspace. And its ability is Preferred Prey, so attacks will deal an additional 50% more damage to all Ultra Beasts and Beastmerge forms. Now, neither of you have a particularly good matchup against one another, but luckily with your ability, you are still able to hit incredibly hard, and after a couple expertly aimed shots from your crossbow, you have bested the final elite trainer. Frenda separates from her Pokemon and topples over. You go over to her side and remove the mind control necklace from her neck. You can see that this collar has a fighting type symbol on it, and you put it in your bag.
Wowzers! I didn't think you could beat me, but man oh man, I'm glad you did. Glee is gonna pay for kidnapping and mind controlling me and Sandy. Seriously, not cool. I'm still feeling a bit out of it, but you go ahead. Glee, the scientist guy, and the ultra wormhole portal thingy are just up ahead.
You heal up your Pokemon and leave Frenda to recover. You run out of the chamber, ready to stop Glee from unleashing a dangerous, legendary Ultra Beast. But we'll pick up from there in the next episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are enjoying this series. There's a new puzzle added to the Discord server, so check out the video description for details on how to join all of the journal deciphering fun that we're having there. I have to thank the amazing Patreon supporters. You're all so cool, but in particular, I have to shout out Angel, Cyberlord, and Mason. They are chillin' like villains in the champion tier. All right, I will catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.